started. Today's class is going to be a Pilates mat class, and we will not be using props, but props really do assist you in doing the Pilates mat exercises correctly. So it would behoove you to either purchase a ball, or if you've got a ball around your house, it's a squishy surface. I will, not today, but I will be using this in future. If you don't want to go out and purchase a ball, which I completely understand, you could use a bath towel that you roll up kind of like a roll, and we can be using that in lieu of the ball. So that would be one of the props that I'd like to start with. So I'm just going to begin. It's 11 o'clock, and I just wanted to get started. So let me bring myself onto the mat. So I'm gonna, another prop would be a chair. So, and I know pretty much everybody's got chairs in their home. It could be a stool, but you'd be sitting forward on your chair. And we're gonna just do some seated breathing. So I'm gonna do a slow progression to warm the body up. So I'm gonna start by just arching my back a little bit. Hands can be on the thighs. I'm gonna lift my chest, and I'm gonna lift my chin a little bit, and I'm gonna inhale here. When I exhale, I'm gonna pull my belly in, I'm gonna round my shoulders forward, and I'm gonna exhale. Again, I'm gonna turn to the side a bit. I'm gonna inhale as I arch my upper back, and I'm gonna exhale as I round my upper back. Inhaling into extension, and exhaling into trunk flexion. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Now that was primarily working right around the bra line or that thoracic spine, which is an area that can be really tight on people. We're just going to stretch the neck a little bit from side to side. Just let it fall to one shoulder, doesn't matter the direction that you go. And then let's lift it and bring it the other way. Oh, this way feels really tight. And again, inhaling, exhaling. You want to make sure your jaw is relaxed, so don't clench your teeth. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Going to take one more in each directional. Remember to listen to your body, don't go too far. Comfortable range is what we're going for today. Excellent. And back to center. Now, we're going to start working the lower body. So I'm going to have you bring your legs out in front of you. My knees are going to be bent, and I'm going to roll down to my back. So I'm primarily working my lower spine, my lumbar sacral, and my pelvis. So hopefully you can see it. I'm going to just rock into my tailbone. So when I rock into my tailbone, the back is going to arch a little bit, and I'm going to inhale here. And then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to pull my belly in and sink my spine down, pulling the abdomen down like it's in a vice, and that vice is being tightened. Inhale into extension, and exhale into flexion at the hip joint. Exhaling air through the mouth. Breath pattern again. I'm going to exaggerate the movement again, inhaling. And notice I'm bringing my feet a little bit closer to my bum. And then tipping the pelvis, lifting the hips up, and squeezing the gluteal muscles on the top. So just kind of squeeze the belly, squeeze the glutes. And then rolling down the spine slowly, all the way down. And I'm going to start that again. Inhaling into extension, exhaling, pulling the abdomen in tight, tucking the tailbone, and lifting the hips up. And then rolling it right back down again. Just one more here. Sometimes when people go to do this exercise, their hamstring will go into a spasm. If you find your hamstrings contracting and feeling, stretch the leg out and just try to let it relax and don't do another repetition. And then rolling down through the spine. Arms are going to reach for the ceiling. Let's reach the arms overhead. And then bring the arms by our side. Inhaling as you reach back. Exhaling as you come down. One last one. Inhaling and exhaling. Palms on the surface of your mat. Depress your shoulders down. Nod your chin. And place it down. So I'm just lifting the weight of my head. I'm putting a grapefruit under my chin. I'm looking down towards my belly. And you can hear that I'm pushing air out as I flex my trunk. Inhaling. And again, exhale. Reach behind the thigh and kind of find yourself a little bit higher so that you stay out of the cords of the neck. So holding it here and then bringing it down again. Inhale and exhale and lifting just a little bit. And then bringing it back down. Hands again by your side. We're going to tip the tailbone. We're going to lift the hips like we did before. Push evenly into the feet. Let's reach the arms back. Circle them like you're doing angel wings and roll down your back slowly. We're going to take 3 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift the hips and lift the arms. Reaching dynamic energy through the fingertips and the kneecaps. And then rolling all the way down. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to reverse the direction of the arms. So I'm circling my arms the other direction. Just take a few more. Now listen to your shoulder. If you're getting clicking sounds, make it smaller. It's almost like I'm circling my hands on the ceiling as opposed to getting that wider range through the rotator cuff. Listen to what feels good through your shoulder. Now, curling that body up again, reaching behind the thighs. Bring the arms up, roll it down. Let's do that angel wing again. Inhale, exhale, reach for the thighs and curl the body up, pushing the belly down and pushing the air out. One more. And again, and circling the arms around and lifting the head and shoulders up and bringing it down. Now I'm going to bring myself all the way to a seated posture. So I've got my seated posture. My legs are extended out in front of me. Feel free to have a bend through your knee, especially if you've got tight hamstrings. This would be a little bit of a modified position. So I'm going to start with that. Find your 2 sitting bones, wobble from cheek to cheek, settle the pelvis on the inside of those 2 bones. And I'm going to reach behind so I get a little bit more assistance. I'm going to think of that tipping of my tail and rounding back. I'm taking it to a full arm extension. And then I'm going to bring it right back up. Angel wings again. Bring the hands behind you and let's arch the upper back. Again, hands behind the thighs, tuck the tailbone, rounding that back and rolling back slowly. Inhale. Exhaling to come up. Reach the arms up and arch the back at the top. And 2 more. Rounding and lifting. Open, and one last one. Now, this time I'm going to roll all the way down. I'm going to straighten my legs. Let's do those same angel wings that we were doing. Circle the arms around. Reach behind the thighs. Use your arms as leverage to come all the way up. If you find that it's too much of a challenge to do the full movement, feel free to just do partial like we did before. I'm going to round my back forward. And from here, I'm looking down towards my belly. I'm going to roll down, reaching the arms back. This would be more of a full range. Remember what I said about grabbing the back of the thigh. So, coming up slowly, pushing the air out, and rounding forward. I'm going to take one last one. Again, on the way down, if you're finding that you're plopping, grab behind the thigh. Take your time with it. And reach the arms. Stretch it like your taffy being stretched on one of those taffy machines. And again, reaching behind, all the way up. And you can hear it in my voice. I'm exhaling. And back to that spine stretch. Let's roll to sitting tall. If you have tight hamstrings, feel free to bend the knees. My hands are going to be like a genie, just what he's called it, the Cossack arm. Right, so I'm grabbing my elbows. I'm going to take a little spinal twist. I'm going to twist to the camera first with a pulse, and then I come to center. I'm going to blow the air out when I twist. So inhale, lengthen, blow it out. Inhale. 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 Now I'm going to smooth it out. Let's take the feet apart. Not too wide, maybe a tiny bit wider than your hips. Arms are going to come out to the side. I'm going to rotate towards you. From here, I'm going to reach down for that foot, and I'm looking to the back arm. And I'm going to hold that stretch. Let's bring it up. We're going to twist the other way. This is my inhale. This is my exhale, looking back to the back arm. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. Now, if this bothers you to be sitting up like this, remember the knees can be bent, or you could be doing it on your chair where you are rotating to one leg. And then I lean and I straighten that leg, right? So I just kind of reaching towards that leg that's down, twisting, inhale, and stretching to the leg. And we're going to do two more. And one last one. And exhale. Now, Joseph Pilates believed in rolling on the spine. So we're going to do the most fundamental of the rolling exercises, which is called rolling like a ball. So I'm going to grab a hold of my legs. Now, my back is particularly flat. If I let my back do what it would want to do, I would go back, and there's no way I'd be coming up because I've got that flat back. So I'm going to look down towards my pubic bone and abdomen. I'm going to pick up one foot. I'm going to pick up the other foot. Now, hand placement can be wherever you want. You roll back, and you come right back up. Now, you'll notice I'm trying to float my feet. Note that it will probably want to do that. Just, you'll get it. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. One last one. Inhale, and exhale. And we're going to bring ourselves onto our backs again. Now, I want to start to mobilize the hip a little bit and the leg. So I'm going to begin with the easiest, and then I'm progress to the more challenging variation. I'm going to start with my front leg closest to the camera, and I'm going to fold it up and down. Now, I'm pulling my abdominal muscles in tight, making sure that my hips aren't moving all over the place. Two more. And this last one, hold it up there. I'm going to stir it in a circle. So I'm just thinking about mobilizing, pulling my abdominal muscles in. Make sure that you're not wobbling around. We'll take two more in this direction. So it's not a giant circle. Let's go the other way. This is called a knee stir. Think of the bone of the upper leg revolving in that socket of your hip. We'll take 3 more in this direction, 2 more, and 1 more. Extend that leg up. Now, we're going to still be doing a modification. It's a leg circle. The leg comes down, and I arc it around, and I'm up. It comes down, and I arc it around and up. Now, if this feels like too much, go back to that knee stir. And last one. Everything we do in Pilates, we do both directions. Arc it and up. Again, abdomen pulled in. I'm going to do it incorrectly. This is me not controlling my pelvis, so I want that lever to work without everything else moving all over the place. 1 more. And let's grab a hold of that leg and stir it around. Just moving that ankle. Sometimes you'll get a little creaking sound, or at least I do. And then let's go the other direction, circling that ankle, and that foot is going to come down. We're going to go to the opposite leg. Again, make sure that that abdominal cavity is pulled in nice and tight. Float and tap. So just lifting and tapping. Going to take 5 more here. And 4 more. Chest is open. 3. Last 2. Now this last one, bring it in, and we'll do that stir that we did on the other side. Again, trying to keep the pelvis as level as we can. Imaginary bowl of soup there. We don't want to spill it. And then let's go the other direction. And again, around. And 3 more. 2 more. Now you might have one side that's tighter than the other. Let's take that leg up to the sky. We're going to do that modified leg circle. So I come down. Now a full leg circle becomes a really large motion that crosses the midline of the body. The opposite leg is extended. Not doing that variation today. And 2 more. And last one. Now we're going to reverse the direction of that circle. So it arcs, and then it comes straight up the middle. Again, arcing and up. And 3 more. And last 2. And 1 last one. Let's keep that leg up there. Going to reach for the calf. Let's stir that ankle around. And then stir it the opposite direction. So I'm moving at the joint of the ankle, right? And I'm letting those toes kind of move around a little bit too. So getting some nice circulation there. And place it down. Now we're going to start again, like I said, from easier to more difficult. We're going to be doing that knee fold, but we're going to alternate it. If it feels like too much for your back, get back to that single fold and focusing on keeping this stable. So I'm going to start with my leg closest to you lifted, and as it comes down, the other one comes up. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about drawing my ribs in and hollowing my abdominals, and change, and change, and change, and change. Now, if this feels like enough, stay with this movement. I'm going to add that lifting of the head and shoulders, but I'm going to actually use my hands behind my head to give me a little support for my neck. Now, do not look at the ceiling. Look down in the direction of your abdominals, making sure that you're pulling them in. 1, and then the other. 1, and then the other. Now, I could stay with this movement, or I could release and grab a leg and extend the other. And I'm going into my single leg stretch. Now, use the leverage of the hands on the shin to curl that body up as much as you can. I don't want you all the way up here, right? But I'd like the shoulder blades to be off the table. Again, accessing the abdominal muscles. If it feels like too much, again, I'll go back to that knee fold, your single leg stretch. Now, we're going to be lying on our stomach for the next series. So sometimes lying on your stomach can bother people's lower back. So you could take a rolled towel and put it along the pelvis. For right now, think about pulling the belly in tight and also engaging the back side of the body or your gluteal muscles. So I'm going to bring myself down onto my stomach. Okay, and I'm going to start with just a little spinal extension. So my hands are by the sides of my body here. My head is down. I'm going to push into the heel of the hand, and I'm just going to lift up a little bit. It's really not a very big lift. And then bring it down. And again, head comes up, chest comes up, and bring it down. And again, head and chest. I'm going to do it incorrectly. Do not lift the head here because I'm getting into compression in my cervical spine. So you want to make sure that it's the back and that it's not the overextending of the neck. Now, we're going to roll to our side, bottom arm extended or bent, but the neck is staying nice and neutral. Bottom leg is bent, top leg is straight, hips stacked one on top of the other. I'm going to be lifting and lowering the leg, lifting and lowering the leg. Good. Lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. And 5 more, and 4 more. Last 3, and 2, and 1. Now my foot is pointed. I'm going to lift with a point, and then I'm going to lift with a flex. I'm going to lift with a point, and then I'm going to lift with a flex. Lifting, and lifting, and lifting, and lifting. 4 more, and up. 3 more, and last 2, and 1 more. Now keep it lifted. You're going to take a small circle here. And then let's reverse it. Small circle, keeping the hips stacked, one on top of the other. Should be feeling the gluteal muscles working here. And let's bring that leg down. I'm going to scoot back on my mat a bit. I'm going to take the leg that I was lifting and I'm going to place it in front and reach the opposite leg. I'm going to take a leg lift here. So I'm lifting and lowering. Lifting, lowering. Beautiful. Again, lifting and lowering. Now I'm going to lift and hold at that same point and flex. Point and flex. It's a small movement, so I'm working that ankle joint in a pointed foot or a flexed foot. And 4 more. And 3. Small but mighty. 2. And 1. Now keep it flexed. Small circle here. And reverse it. Good. Let both legs just relax. We're going to roll to our stomach again, but we're going to be this time working the legs. So rolling onto the stomach, and I'm going to let my upper body kind of relax. So I'm going to just make a table with my hands. I'm going to rest my forehead on that top back of hand. This exercise is called prone hip extension. You're lying prone and you're extending your hip. It's a small movement. So I'll start with the leg closest to you. I'm lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. You want to make sure you don't drop the leg, but that you lift it with your gluteal muscles and your hamstrings, and lift and extend at the hip, and lift, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hold it there. Good, hold it there. Flex and point the foot. And bring that leg down. Going to do the same thing on the other side, lifting and lowering. Now, what you want to be careful of is moving the hips quite a bit, right? So I'm thinking about keeping my hips into the mat, trying to relax my shoulders. That would be where I take my tension, and lift and lift, and 5 more, 4, 2 more, and 1. Holding it there, flexing and pointing the foot. And 2 more, and last one. Reach it and bring it down. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So I'm just going to slide my legs in. You can roll to your side, however it feels. I say roll into your sides, a little bit easier on the back. So I'm going to do my setup on the other side, and I'm going to be bending that bottom leg. Top leg is going to be lifting and lowering. Let me pull a little bit more this way so you see a little bit more of my leg. Okay, that's better. And lifting and lowering. Hips are stacked, one on top of the other. Bottom leg is bent for stability. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. That's it. And 4 more. And I'm not really thinking of a big lift. It's just I'm keeping the hips, the integrity of the pelvis. And 2 more. Now hold it at the top. Lift with a point, lift with a flex. Lift with a point, lift with a flex. Thinking about that leg reaching for the wall and away from your head. 4 more, and lift. And 3, my legs, I'm feeling it already. And 2, and 1. Now keep it flexed, small circle. If I make it too big, everything goes, right? So I want it to be controlled, abdomen in, and then reverse the direction. Whoops, I almost forgot which way I was going. And 4 more, 3, 2, 1. Allow that leg to relax for a second. Scooch back on your mat. Leg that you were lifting is going to come forward and bent. Bottom leg is going to be the working leg, and we're going to be lifting and lowering. Now, what I don't want to see is a throw and a drop. Control up, control down, lifting and lowering. So I'm really thinking about activating that leg the entire time, and lifting and lowering. We'll take maybe 6 more lifts, and 5, and up and down, 3 more. Is everybody ready for Thanksgiving? 2 more, and last one. Hold it at the top. Lift with a point, lift with a flex. Point, flex, point, flex. Now hold it there, small circle, and reverse the direction. Good, and release it down. I'm gonna roll to our stomach again. I'm gonna be up on my forearm. Now, the next exercise is called single leg kick, and it's about your hamstring, the back side of your leg, and your gluteal muscles. So I'm going to push down into my forearm, and you'll notice when I do that, my belly kind of comes up off the table. So I'm going to start with the leg closest to you. I'm going to kick myself in the bottom once, I'm going to kick myself in the bottom twice, and then I lift it and I lower it. I point it as I kick in, I flex it as I come in, I lift it, and I lower it. Now I'm alternating sides. Point and flex and lift and down. Point and flex and lift. Now the tendency when you do this exercise is to get into your neck. So I make fists, stack them one on top of the other, and I rest my forehead on those top fists. The tendency is also to shrug the shoulders up like a football player. Pull your shoulders down. Kick with a point. Kick with a flex. Lift the leg and lower. Point, flex, lift, and lower. Point, flex, lift. 1 more on each side. Lift and lower. Last one. We're going to go into extension 1 more time. So my hands are going to come by the sides of my body, kind of in alignment with my armpit. My forehead is down. Now, just a bit ago, we were doing that exercise where you were pushing here and coming up. We're going to push a little bit more aggressively. So I'm going to push, and I'm going to lift up a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring it back down. Now my elbows are tight in by the sides of my body. So I'm working those triceps, pushing, and then coming right back down. Inhaling. Maybe I'm taking it all the way up where the neck comes into extension. If that feels like too much in your lower back, revisit that one that we began with. And frankly, to be honest, I think this one is better because it really does make me think about those back muscles and my posture. But sometimes it's kind of fun to just push and come up a little bit. This becomes more about your arms and then all the way down. Now, in this position, we're going to stretch our front of our thigh. So I'm going to do this side closest to you. I'm going to bend the opposite arm so I have a pillow. I'm going to take that same arm as leg, and I'm going to reach back for it. This would be one, if you have trouble getting to your foot, you can use a strap. That could be an old man's tie, right? So or a yoga strap or a TheraBand. And pulling it first, just bringing that heel in towards the bottom. Feeling that stretch through the front of the thigh and holding it there. Now, if I want to make it more aggressive, I take my foot and I push it into my hand. You can kind of see how my thigh just kind of popped up a little bit, and then I release it down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, activate. Inhale, extend it a little bit more, and then slowly release it down. Again, inhale, prepare. Exhale to activate, pushing foot into hand, and lifting it up there. And one last one. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, tighten the belly, and lift. And release it down. I'm going to switch my arms out. So I'm making a little pillow. I'm reaching back for that side, and I'm drawing heel towards the bottom. I'm going to start first with just this stretch. Now this could be the stretch, so you may not go any further than this, and that's perfectly fine. So if, let's say I'm not bringing that knee up, I'm going to think about taking my pubic bone and pushing it down. You get a little bit more of a stretch if you do that. The more aggressive is to, again, push the foot into the hand and lift the thigh. And then release it down. Now we want to make sure that we stay up there for at least 3 seconds. So I come up, 2, 3, and I bring it down, 2, 3. I come up, 2, 3, and I come down.